Hello, we're happy that you're interested in CU Denver's College of Arts and Media programs. My name is Dave Walter. I am the Director of Enrollment Management and Summer Programs for the College of Arts and Media. So what does that mean? It means I lead up our recruitment and admissions efforts here in the College of Arts and Media and also direct our Links National Arts and Media camps for high school students that we run here in the college. Well, we're going to jump right into the presentation and get you all the information that you need about our programs. All right. So here you'll see some of our College of Arts and Media students in action, doing what they love to do. I'd like to start off with this slide kind of about CU Denver more broadly. So CU Denver is a real medium-sized university. We have about 11,000 undergraduate students, closer to 14, 15,000 if you include graduate students. So we're not a giant school, like, bigger universities like CU Boulder, University of Texas, Arizona State, UCLA. We all know the big ones that are out there. But we're also not a tiny liberal arts school. So we're kind of right in the middle. We feel really good about our size for what we do here. One of the nice things about that is it allows us to have a smaller class size than you'd find at some of those really big universities. Across campus, our average class size is 27. For most of our College of Arts and Media classes, it's going to be closer to 20. So you're really going to get to know the other students and the faculty in your programs really well while you're going to school. Some other things that students love, again, got to include the picture of the Rocky Mountains there. Denver is such a great city for culture, arts, music, all of that. But it's nice to be able to escape within, an hour, and you're in world-class hiking, biking, skiing up in the Rocky Mountains, and can kind of use nature to refresh you and to get you in that creative spirit when needed. Another thing that they love is our campus. So we are right by downtown Denver, but it is a campus. So it's not just like a couple big buildings and that's it that you find at some urban universities. We have a big spread out campus called the Auraria campus, and we are right by downtown Denver, though. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for students. They can do all the college stuff and feel like a college student when they want to. When they're ready to get off campus and be really involved in the arts, music, film scene, all that's going on in Denver, they do not have to go very far, which is great. And then also we have Milo, our mascot there. We are the Lynx at CU Denver. There are also 140 different degree options at CU Denver. So I'm here just representing the College of Arts and Media. But if you have interest in studying in any of these other areas, you can certainly take some classes in those areas. You can minor in most of those areas. So there would be a lot of opportunities for you to kind of branch out and also explore other things while you're studying in one of our College of Arts and Media programs here at CU Denver. So in the College of Arts and Media, we have about 1,300 undergraduate students. So, going back to do the math of a 10 or 11,000 undergrads at CU Denver, about one in every eight or nine students is a College of Arts and Media student at CU Denver. So you're going to be surrounded by a lot of other creatives if you come to school here, and it fits that our campus, being downtown and in such a great arts city like Denver, would have really strong programs in these areas. So our three departments in CAM are Music and Entertainment Industry Studies, which you'll often hear abbreviated MEIS for short, Film and Television, and Visual Arts. And in MEIS, we have about 500 students. In Film and Television, it's about 225. And in Visual Arts, it's about 500 as well across 6 different programs there. And we're going to dive in deeper and look at each of those majors and programs here soon. But want to start off with this slide to kind of, what is it about, the College of Arts and Media and coming to study here that would make it different than studying at all the different places where you could go to study the arts, in the US? I think a big one we've already talked a little bit about is Denver. Denver does have a really vibrant, arts, music, film scene. There's a lot going on here. And, with our campus location being right in the heart of it all, it's really easy for our students to be connected there. And we really encourage that. These majors aren't the type where you wait to graduate to start doing it. We want our students to be very active in doing it while they're in school here, because that will just feed in really well with what they're doing in the classroom. And, I think that leads into the next one, which is our faculty. Our faculty really come from that world. They come from the Denver arts world as well beyond Denver. They are from all over the country, and just have such great connections out there in the arts world. which is great for our students. You know, they are the connectors. They're bringing in the guest artists and their friends into the classroom to speak about, you know, their areas of expertise. In some cases, our faculty are the people, you know, with that, and you know, they're still doers. And that is really what we look for in our faculty. We want people with that real world experience piece, because they just that way they stay very active and they know the people to know, that are out there, which is great. Um, and of course, we want the academic credentials with the faculty as well, but we do really value that real world experience piece. So, you know, our film faculty are filmmakers, our animation faculty are animators, our music faculty are musicians, or, you know, professionals in the music world. Um, so students really appreciate that, so that they're getting real world examples in their classes and knowledge. Um, but then also the connectors, you know, for students for internships and going out and getting jobs and all those things. You know, our faculty are just so tied in with all of that, which our students really love. Another big one is the value piece. So I don't know how many of you have looked at the cost for some of the private art schools that are out there, but they can easily run, you know, $50,000, $60,000 per year for just tuition. Here at CU Denver, you know, we're a public university, so our tuition rate is much cheaper than that. For in-state students, you're looking at, you know, 10 to 12,000, you know, dollars, 10,000 to $12,000 per year. And it depends a little bit because students pay by credit hour here at CU Denver. So as opposed to, you know, the same amount every semester, regardless of how many credits you take. At some universities at CU Denver, they do pay by credit hour. So it can change from semester to semester based on that. But that, you know, 10-ish, 11,000-ish number that I quoted for in-state students, that's before any financial aid and scholarships. So, you know, most of our students are earning grants, scholarships, other types of aid that brings that tuition rate much lower than that. And then we also are a participant in the WUI program, which is the Western Undergraduate Exchange. So you can imagine a line right down the middle of the country. So basically every state, Colorado and West, is a part of the WUI program and would automatically qualify for that program. And what that means is that you get in-state tuition rate, or I mean, 1.5 times the in-state tuition rate. So, you know, maybe like 17,000-ish, you know, a year. So much, you know, still much cheaper than the out-of-state rate, which is a good value. And again, that's before any financial aid and scholarships. And then even for our out-of-state students, you know, we are much cheaper than it would cost to go to some of these private art schools. And you're not sacrificing value. You know, our faculty could be teaching at any of those other schools that are out there. They're amazing. So it really does make a great value for students to come here and study the arts at CU Denver. The next one, collaborative experiences. So we really want our students interacting between disciplines. So like our music and our film students, we have meetup nights, or maybe digital animation and film, or, you know, there's so many different areas where it's great to know people across the arts. I always think of a singer-songwriter. If you're a singer-songwriter, you better be working with, you know, music business and, you know, for managers, you know, all the things that they do there on the music business side, the rights to your song, all of that. You better be working with audio production folks, so you're, you know, having good sound on your albums, or, you know, when you go to play at different venues. You better be working with filmmakers, right? You got to have a great YouTube presence for all your music videos. So you have to have, you know, high quality films and be working with filmmakers. You better have a good website and social media presence. Our digital design students are great with all of that. Photographers, you always need good headshots of yourself and your band performing. So we have a great photography program here at CU Denver. And then even like, you know, just art students for like album covers or your merchandise or things like that. There's so many ways why it might be beneficial to you to work across disciplines in the arts and know people. And that starts early for us. So in addition to those meetup nights I referenced, in our City Heights Residence Hall, we have a College of Arts and Media residential creative community that students can opt into for their first year. And then you would be, you know, get a roommate that's a CAM student and be clustered with the other College of Arts and Media students kind of in the residence hall right there. So you're really getting to know people across the arts areas your first year. We'll talk a little bit more about that here later. Career focus. This one is also super important. So there are great jobs in the arts, and our whole job here is to prepare you for them. CU Denver is much more career focused than your average college that's doing arts. So, there's many ways that we do that. We have a whole office that's devoted to internships and working closely with our faculty. And it's just a big part of our culture here, being right in the city, that we would be really connected to the arts. So from day one here, you're really getting ready and preparing for kind of how you're going to make money doing this. Whereas I think a lot of other art schools that are out there are a little more floofy and, a little like, oh, you'll figure it out later, or, maybe senior year we'll start talking about it, or you'll probably go to grad school and figure it out there. That is not our philosophy here. We really want students to start talking about these career pathways and to prepare for them early on. So if you're waiting till senior year here, we think you're doing it way too late. We want students working with our career team and the faculty early on to get ready, and so they have a path in place that they're working towards. All right, so in our music area, the big thing to know about our music program is that we are a very contemporary focused music department. So what does that mean? It means we're not really doing like classical music, orchestra, marching band, the things that you would find at a lot of other music schools. So, very different. And that's not to say that they're bad. Those other programs that are out there, there's a lot of different options, but we are much different than that. So, more focused on the modern music industry and career pathways. So the main areas for us are music business and recording arts, audio production. And for both those, we have an audition track and a non-audition track. Music performance, for us, that would be, again, contemporary performance. So think rock, jazz, hip hop, electronic music, a cappella, pop, bluegrass, heavy metal, anything modern we're doing here at CU Denver. And then we have singer-songwriter and songwriter entrepreneur programs, that are really focused more on the writing piece of music, in addition to, writing for yourself, your own band. But there are a lot of ways to make money as songwriters, even if you're not a performer, and they dive into those a lot as well. But yeah, for recording arts and music business, the non-audition track is more designed for students who want to, they see their career pathway more behind the scenes in the music industry. And they may do a little bit on the performance side too, but they just really see their main pathway kind of behind the scenes. And also there's less, audition-based classwork and performance coursework required for those students. So they take less theory, ear training, piano classes. They're not required to do ensembles and, applied lessons. They can if they want to, but they don't have to. So it just kind of depends what you want. One's not better than the other. They're just setting you up for different things. And then you'll also see with the recording arts program that it's kind of nice. We have a master's program in recording arts. So there's a 4+1 option. So you can stay for that extra year and get your master's if you want to, which is kind of a nice perk, because some of those upper level recording arts classes kind of double dip and count for both the undergraduate and the graduate program. Alternatively, the audition track programs for those two are, I think half performance, half recording arts, or half performance, half music business. So you're getting a lot of coursework in both. They're great for people that want to be performers, but they want a lot of music business or recording arts in there as well to help them with their performance careers. Or some people look at us to give themselves options in the music industry for different career pathways, which is good to have. For pretty much all of these areas, we are the biggest in the Western United States that I'm aware of. For certainly like our recording arts program, we have about 250 majors there, about 150 in music business. So big programs. We've been doing it a long time here at CU Denver, over 50 years in some cases. We've only been able to find one recording arts audio production program in the country older than the one here at CU Denver. So just tons of expertise, and the alumni base is really big out there in these programs. I'm guessing many of you music students are interested in more than one of those areas. That is totally fine, and that's normal. So you're going to get a little bit of coursework in all of those areas, no matter which one you would pick for your major. And then we also have minors. So we have a music industry studies minor that's like a music business minor. So say you wanted just a few more music business classes than you're already getting as a, say, singer-songwriter or recording arts student. you can pick up that music business minor and get a little bit of extra. If you want a lot more, you could do like a double emphasis. One we'll see sometimes is in like recording arts and music business. So if you want a lot of coursework in both, you can do that. And that's not like a double major in like music and something unrelated to music, where it's going to take you a long time, like 6 years to graduate or something like that. It might only be like 8 to 10 additional classes. And I've known students that can, do a double emphasis in recording arts and music business and still graduate in 4 years. So completely possible. Again, contemporary focused, is our focus here at CU Denver. There's not many departments like that out there in the country. We are certainly nationally ranked and known as one of the best contemporary programs out there in the country. We're always on Billboard top list of music business programs, often shown up on list of top songwriting programs, things like that. Really innovative classes. So we were the first program that we know of in the world to offer a class in music cities. So really to dive in deep to like how cities are trying to brand themselves and establish their identity as a music city. So you think like maybe Austin or Nashville or those cities where you think music when you think of those cities. So there's a lot of other cities that want that. It helps tourism. It helps people to want to live there. It just is nice for the people. And so governments are investing money to make themselves that way and to, adding positions in their city governments and adding, ways to get more of a music industry, more venues, things like that. And so in that class, they study that and often partner with cities to kind of take deep dives into what they're doing or to give them advice. So very interactive and hands-on learning. Cam Records, it's one where it's kind of like a record label where students get to explore what it would be like to work at a record label for a semester and kind of get that knowledge. There's a lot of other ones too. Like we have a Taylor Swift class that's going to be offered here soon. Also, they're always innovative and kind of thinking of the new things where students need to learn in the industry. 6 professional recording studios, some of which you can see in these photos here. They're amazing. Students get a lot of access to those studios as well, which is great. We do have a digital instrument area. So say you want that for your instrument, making electronic music in Ableton or hip hop beats or something like that. You can choose that for your instrument area instead of like voice or guitar or piano or drums. And then you would get your applied lessons in that area if you want to. We're one of the first programs in the country to offer that. And then again, all of our faculty, have long careers in the music industry and most are still very active. So just to see a little bit what it would look like to go through the music program, I threw in this curriculum map for our recording arts audition track. So again, for this one, you can see it's like half performance, half audio production. Students are getting a lot of coursework in both. Some of these courses kind of have to be taken in order, some of them not so much, and there's some flexibility on when you can take them, but this would be what it might often look like. For all of our music programs, every semester, most of your classes are going to be music classes, which students really like. And then there are only 10 gen eds that every student at CU Denver has to complete by the time they graduate. And those are kind of filled in 1 or 2 on top of that. If you're wondering what those are, you can just Google CU Denver core curriculum and a page will pop up that will show you those 10 areas where students need to have a class by the time they graduate. Many students come in already having some AP or IB, college credits from high school. Often those will transfer and count for those gen eds, or if you're a transfer student, you probably have many of those done already. All right, also through this article about Finn O'Sullivan, who's a senior in our program. She is amazing. Her freshman year, she won the John Lennon songwriting competition, an international award, amazing, right? So I like to profile Finn for a couple reasons. Obviously, not all of our students are doing that. Like this is pretty exceptional. But all of our students are very active in the music industry while they're going to school here and get really involved and are doing it while they're here. And that's one thing that Finn really, I think, shows. And also, she is just one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. You'd think she's like, oh, she won that amazing award. She probably has a big ego or something, very full of herself. Not at all. She is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, loves to collaborate with other people. And you wouldn't know her from any other student, if you walk by her in the hallway. So I think that's one thing students really love about our music department is that it does have a lot more of a collaborative vibe to it than a competitive vibe. There are I've heard some other schools out there that music schools that do feel just really competitive. And that is not us. We really work hard for that not to be the way. We really feel like that while you're here, we want to build each other up and help each other and realize that just because something good happens to this other student, like maybe Finn here, that doesn't make it worse for me. That might make it better for me because I know Finn and we can collaborate and we can help each other. So we're all trying to lift each other up and help each other. Film and television, the big thing to know about this department in this program, it's a BFA, and it's really hands-on. So it's a really production-focused film program. And in the world of college film programs, there's kind of two types. There's more of a film studies type program. That is not us, and more of a film production program, and that is us. So it's very hands-on doing it, as you can see in these photos. Cohort based, so we'll see the curriculum map here in a minute, but you kind of move through the program together with a group of students. About 225 students total in the department. They make a web series their junior year, which is super cool. So they do writing for episodic TV, and then they make the web series together as a class, and students would get to try, take on different aspects of the filmmaking process for that. The film facilities are amazing. We have such great studios and editing rooms and theaters and everything you need on campus. In addition to the gear, all the cameras, lighting equipment, sound equipment that you need, we have. Great internships and study abroad opportunities. And I would say that's true across our College of Arts and Media programs. We have an office on campus called the Office of Experiential Learning that really helps our students to connect with internships and works closely with our faculty. And then we have some really cool study abroads in CAM that often are like 2 or 3 weeks where they go to a location like Bollywood or, Hollywood or, trying to think where else we've got Nepal recently, Singapore, Japan, Denmark, for like 2 or 3 weeks. And they kind of take a deep dive into the culture and kind of what's going on in the arts in those locations. And those would often happen in the breaks. So like the summer break, the summer semester, or over winter break, or in the May semester, which is kind of right after the spring semester ends. So students don't miss out on the fall spring course sequencing. And again, all of our faculty members are filmmakers, so very active. And the QR code there will take you right to our film website where you can see more student films and videos and things like that. But this is the curriculum map for the film program. So you can see kind of like music, every semester, most of your classes are going to be film classes, and they kind of build on each other as you go. A good mix of kind of learning the skills early on, kind of everyone becoming a generalist and learning a little bit about everything. You would jump right into production 1 then at the end of your first semester, production 2 at the end of your second semester. So you're going to be making a lot of films as you go, junior and senior films, the web series. And then in your senior year, you would get to take more advanced classes in the areas that you're really kind of becoming your niche areas in the filmmaking world, which really sets you up great for jobs after you graduate. And most of our students do go right into the film industry right after graduation instead of going to graduate programs or something like that. Some do, but most do go right into the industry, which is great. And they really feel like this curriculum really has prepared them well for that. So visual arts, we have a lot of programs here too. Only one is a BA, so that's art history. That just means that you would get it's a little bit more flexible, less art specifics classes and more kind of general CU Denver classes in there for a BA. But it's an amazing program. The faculty are incredible, and every student in our visual arts department will take some art history classes because it's important for everyone to know a little bit about that and help them with their making future art, to know what was done in the past and how you can incorporate that. Art practices is our really flexible studio BFA. So think painting and drawing, sculpture. They also get some photography and illustration in there. But students really love how flexible it is. And they have some amazing spaces on campus in our painting and drawing studios, our photography studios, our sculpture labs for students to use. And really for transmedia sculpture, think woods and metals, even more than ceramics. So they're doing all sorts of cool stuff there. Photography, it's both digital and dark rooms. So we have both great facilities for both. Illustrations kind of are in between degrees. So you still get a lot of the, art practices, studio arts kind of stuff in there, but then you're taking it digital. So think character creation, concept art, 2D animation, storyboarding, scientific illustration, comic book illustration. There's a lot of things you can do with that degree. For digital design, it's more digital art. So, really anything that can be done digitally. So, you'll notice that we call it digital design instead of graphic design. So, it is a lot more than just graphic design, even though you get those graphic design skill sets in there, like branding, logos, typography, all of that. You also get more than that. So think motion graphics. You're watching a TV news network or sports, and graphics are moving in and out of the screen. You learn how to do all that kind of stuff, which is great for possible job opportunities. Also, website design. So think UI and UX design. Those are great skill sets to learn, and you would in this program. And those can be really helpful for jobs as well. Those jobs are starting close to 6 figures anymore. So, and they can go up pretty fast from there, which is great. And then also app design and even virtual reality design, they're getting into a lot in digital design BFA as well. Our 3D graphics and animation program, really think like Pixar, Disney, right? Like 3D animation. And in that program, they're using like software like Maya and ZBrush and Blender, Unreal Engine a lot more anymore they're using as well. So any of those softwares that, characters are moving around in 3D. Whereas, a lot of our other programs like digital design, illustration, photography are using more of the Adobe suite. And we are an Adobe school, so all of our students get Adobe included with being a student here, which is a nice little perk. We also offer some new minors, newish minors, a 2D and traditional animation minor, a virtual production minor, and even another new one that's been recently added called game art. And you compare any of those minors with our major programs, which is really nice as well. Again, QR code will take you to the website to learn more. Yeah, very hands-on, as you can see, the student in the picture there. Amazing equipment and labs for our students to learn from. Highly ranked by Animation Career Review. Many of our programs are known as the best in Colorado and the region for their areas, certainly in the digital areas and all those. And our faculty, they're amazing. They've been doing this a long time and just great mentors for our students. And many of them have, been and worked in the studios and made some of the animated films that the students grew up loving. So it's really cool that, we have faculty of that level here. So again, a look at our curriculum map. I just threw in the one for the 3D graphics and animation, but you can find all the other ones on our website. So again, all of your classes, or most of your classes every semester, would be in visual arts and animation here. One thing you will also notice is that we don't require a portfolio to start in our animation program. And that is true of all of our visual arts programs. You do not have to complete a program or a portfolio to start in the program. Instead, you would you take two, in this case, pre-portfolio classes, Fine Arts 1810 and 1820, which prepare you to submit a portfolio after your first year to move on to the upper level cohort classes. The vast majority of students do pass the portfolio because those pre-portfolio classes are really designed to help you pass them. So the only reason you really wouldn't would be if you weren't doing well in those early classes, or the faculty just didn't feel like you were ready for some reason. And you could always then try it again the next year. There'd be options. But yeah, for digital design, you would do the portfolio after your first semester. For illustration, it's also after your first year. And for our other visual arts programs, we don't even require a portfolio. So that's kind of nice that students just with being admitted to CU Denver can jump in and start doing this. Where are students finding jobs? So definitely some of the biggest arts companies in the country. So let's, think Sony, Pixar, Universal, AG Live, Stars, Live Nation, Nickelodeon, Rolling Stone, HBO. I've known a number of our music students that have just in my 9 years working here are now working at Warner Brothers, either in LA or Nashville. Spotify, a lot of tech companies like Google, NVIDIA, Amazon, Apple. We have alumni at all those companies. Some people are surprised to hear that, but a lot of those tech companies are really valuing what creatives are bringing to the table that there maybe coders don't. Tegna Media, they do a lot of like the local news programs. High Impact is a animation company in South Denver that does animations for like legal purposes. So there's all sorts of different employers that are employing our students. I would also say a lot of our students start their own companies, which is great as well. So they get those entrepreneurial skills here too to do that. Internships, a lot of those same companies have internships. Like we've had an amazing run of getting Pixar interns at CU Denver, but like High Noon Entertainment, a film company here in Denver, of course, like Denver Art Museum and Museum of Contemporary Art, Meow Wolf Denver. We've probably had, man, at least 30 interns there over the past 3 years. Even that summer before they opened up here in Denver, we had a lot of students that were interning there to get it all ready. So we built a really great connection with Meow Wolf Denver, and that's led to jobs for some of those students, which is so great. Levitt Pavilion is one where a lot of our music students intern over the summer, and that has also led to jobs for some of them, which is great. But they put on, gosh, like 100 concerts a summer at Levitt. So a really great experience for students to get out there and experience all that and learn how to do it. Alumni, let's look at this next slide here. So there are so many alumni that we could have listed here, but just a few highlights. So Rebecca Forth grew up in the Denver area, loves the Star Wars. She went through our 3D animation program, and now she's working at Industrial Light and Magic in San Francisco and making some of the newest Star Wars series and films. She worked on Rogue One and The Force Awakens, Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, so many of those as an effects artist, in addition to like Jurassic World and so many other films as well there. We have a few alumni at Industrial Light and Magic. Jeff Gibson works at Disney. He also went through our 3D animation program. He was a Pixar intern while he was here, and that led to him getting it on at Disney, where his first film he was asked to work on was Frozen, which ended up being one of Disney's biggest hits ever. He's also worked on Moana, Zootopia, Big Hero 6, one of the Wreck-It Ralphs. Disney's thought so highly of him, they've let him direct some of their first virtual reality films, like one a few years ago called Cycles. There was a spin-off of Frozen 2 where you could go in and interact with the Frozen characters that he directed. So just an amazing person from Trinidad, Colorado, and doing big things there. Aaron Kopp's an amazing filmmaker. He's a cinematographer. One of the films he worked on, Saving Face, won Best Documentary Short in 2012. He made a film with his partner called Liana, which is amazing. You definitely go check that one out. And lots of other great films he's worked on as well. Tim Kimmel, he has won 3 Emmys for his sound work in Hollywood, including on Game of Thrones, where he was a supervising sound editor. Isaac Slade, many bands and big name musicians have come out of our music department. So the Fray kind of formed when they were here at CU Denver. Isaac Slade graduated from the program. Ben Wasaki went here, their drummer, and they kind of had their big hit, How to Save a Life, that was on Grey's Anatomy, that really led to them being a breakout national success. A couple other artists that went to CU Denver. Lenny M went to school here and studied recording arts and music business. Big name in the EDM pop world right now, right? Andy Guerrero, from one of the founding members of Flowbots, went to school here and graduated. He is now a staff member or a faculty member here at CU Denver and teaches music business and like our pop rock ensemble. He's amazing. Luke Mossman from Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats. Emma Cole from Wilderness. There are so many examples of musicians that are doing big things out there. JJ Italiano and Austin Kramer, they are pretty high up at Spotify. Have done some other things at Sony and YouTube Music, all sorts of things during their careers, but definitely big names on the music business side. Allison Coolby went through our digital design program, and she has a cool story. So she was hired early on for her to be a UX designer at Victoria's Secret website, was stolen away from there by Wayfair, where she led up a lot of their UX UI work there. And then recently she's been at Walmart doing UI UX for them. So doing great things there for sure. How to apply. So if you're doing some of our programs, all you need to do is apply to CU Denver and be admitted in order to start. So if you have coming out of high school, if you have above a 3.0, you're likely going to get admitted to CU Denver. If you're a little below that, you might still get admitted. I would definitely encourage you to apply and maybe submit a personal statement, letters of recommendation, that kind of stuff. For our music non-audition track programs, again, all you have to do is apply to CU Denver and be admitted to start in those. For our film program, we do have a secondary film and television application. It's pretty basic though, and most students do pass, so not too bad. And then for audition track students, singer-songwriter, performance, audition track, you would have to pass an audition to start in our audition track programs, and you can find all that information on our website. You can either audition by video or live in person. And again, for 3 of our visual arts programs, digital design, illustration, and digital animation, you would have to pass a portfolio after some pre-portfolio classes, but nothing to start in the program. If you're a transfer student in those areas, maybe connect with us and our faculty early on, because they may want you to submit a portfolio before you start. We do have a newish, it's not new anymore, residence hall at CU Denver called City Heights. It's our first year residence hall, so about 550 of our incoming freshmen live there at City Heights. And it's amazing, brand new, everything that you would need and want, amazing views. Of one side has the mountains, the other side has the city. We even have a creative community, a residential creative community at City Heights. So we partner with the housing office on this, and basically students can opt into it. And if you do it by June 1st, then we'll make sure you get a roommate that's a College of Arts and Media student, and you're clustered with all the other CAM students there in the residence hall too. So you really kind of have that creative community with people that, get you on that creative level, and a great way just to meet other students right there. They have a dining hall in there too. And then we have another residence hall for our upper level students called Links Crossing, that students can go to after their first year, or they can get an apartment together, whatever they want. We also don't require students to live in our housing to start. So if it's cheaper for you to live with a parent or family member in Denver and commute in, that is totally fine. You can absolutely do that. Light rail is a great way to get around in Denver. There's a few light rail stops on campus, and you can get to campus very easy that way as well. So mentioned, I also direct our Links National Arts and Media Camps, which are our summer camps for high school students. They are so fun. As you can see in this photo, students have a blast, and they really do give students a glimpse into what it's like to be a college art student. And also just really like, what career paths are there in the arts? A lot of times high school students know that they have interest in these areas, but they don't know what that means or what to do with it, or if they did want to pursue it, how they would even do that. So the camps can be really great to help students, start to figure that out. And our faculty teach these camp programs. They're learning from people with lots of knowledge in these areas. We hire a lot of our college students here in the College of Arts and Media to work at the camps. So they're great mentors for the students. And yeah, students can be residential or commuter students to come to the camp. So they can even get that kind of on-campus taste of what it's like to be a college student if they want as well. We bring in guest artists to a lot of our camp programs to talk about their careers in the music industry and to inspire the students. So this one, Isaac Slade, came back a few years ago. It was really special. He brought all the students around and played their hit song, How to Save a Life, or it was Cable Car, I think, there for the students. And you can see they were mesmerized. It was amazing. And then these are our camp programs for this summer, but pretty much we offer most of these programs every summer. In mid-June, we'll offer our 1-week programs. And then in the last end of June is always our music industry camp. And then we do filmmaking, animation, and visual immersive art for session 3. And again, students can attend as either a residential student, a commuter student, or a commuter plus student. There's different price points for all that. We have a lot of need-based scholarships to help students be able to afford to come to camp. If you want a need-based scholarship, make sure to apply by our priority deadline, which is March 15th every year. But you can find a lot more information on our Links Camp website. So just Google CU Denver Links Camp, and it'll go right there, and you can find all the information about the camps that you need. But again, a great preview of our college programs for high school students. And high school students can come that summer right after they graduate high school, but before they start college, to kind of, just get to know campus better, maybe before college starts or things like that. So if you have any questions, just reach out. This is me, the top person, Dave Walter. Happy to help schedule an on-campus tour for you of our College of Arts and Media spaces, or just answer any questions you have, help you through the application process. My colleague is Laura Harvey. She can also help you with all of that. She specifically is, big with our Links camps and is our camp coordinator and kind of directs a lot of things there. So reach out to either one of us if you do have any questions at all. But I hope you found this informative, and yeah, please do reach out if you have any other questions. We're happy to answer them anytime. All right. Well, thank you for listening today, and hope you have a good rest of your day.